This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me to promoter Frank Warren. Did you watch Tottenham's exit out of Europe last night, Frank?
I'll tell you what, I felt so sorry for him.
Yeah, I bet you did.
It was very sad, very sad.
Another thing to put a smile on your face, as well as Tottenham losing, Denzel Bentley, Felix Cash is over the line. We have got a fight April 24th, and it's going to be a spicy build-up, this one, isn't it?
Do you know what? That's a really good fight, isn't it? And I'm so pleased that because, you know, his trainer, Tony Sims, was saying at one stage if we won the purse bids that they would pull him out the fight. And that's not happened. So, as I said to a couple of people, I take my hat off to Felix. He's stepping up, and we got a fight. We got a good fight. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be very competitive.
Both have shown tremendous skills in the ring. Both can punch, both can box, both are fresh, both are unbeaten. So a lot of stake and pride on the line. And of course, whoever wins this is crashing onto the European and world scene.
Absolutely. So they got a lot to go for. And I found out after the fight was put out the purse bids that there was quite a bit of a history between them from the days when they were sparring together, which led to a bit of extra time sparring outside the ring. So I'm sure it's going to be quite interesting leading up to the fight.
Yeah, a few headlocks I heard. Hopefully there's none in the ring on the night.
Anyway, look, they're two good professionals, and I'm sure on the night we're going to get something a little bit special from the both of them.
That's April 24th, live on BT Sport. Do not miss that one. A great middleweight title fight between Denzel and Felix. Okay, Frank, there was some news, I think 2 weeks you dropped it, about John Bercow linking up with your promotional outfit. Tell me what John's going to be doing for yourselves.
John has come on board. He's become a director of Queensberry, and he'll be assisting and helping us and advising us in certain things that we're working on at the moment. He's an old friend of mine, Arsenal supporter as well. So, you know, as I say, he'll be working with us, and we're delighted that he's on board. He's got a wealth of experience. He was the longest serving speaker in the House of Commons, I think, since the war. So, you know, we've a couple of things that we are working on at the moment. I think he's going to be very, very, very helpful and useful for us moving forward.
I didn't know he had much interest in boxing, whatever, so he must be passionate about the sport.
Yeah, he's been to a few of the shows. He's been to a few of our shows, and he's, as you say, well, you didn't know, he is quite passionate. He's quite passionate about sport altogether. You know, he loves his sport, he loves his football, his tennis, and as I say, he's attended quite a few of the shows. But it's, you know, he's working in it's a different capacity. It's not as a fan. It's what he's experienced and what he brings on board with us to help us do what we're working on at the moment.
Okay.
Which is quite interesting.
Okay, talking of announcements, of course, the internet broke during the week. This was Monday or Tuesday, I believe, when reports were going around saying this fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is signed. So, Frank, first of all, how comes yourselves, 258, who look after Anthony Joshua, and MTK, obviously, look after Tyson Fury, didn't make any comment on this?
Or Top Rank?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, because we had an agreement that no announcements unless we did them all collectively. That's in what we've signed. So, but anyway, look, that's happened now. We can't change it. You know, I just want to get the things sorted out where we. You know, I would like to go to the stage where we announce the fight and announce the venue and a date. That's what we would collectively be working towards. But that's obviously. That's not happening now. So we are, from my perspective, from Queensberry perspective, we are adhering to what we signed, the agreement we signed. So we will continue working with that. Whatever whatever announcement that come out, they will be joint announcements. That's where we're at. That's what we signed up for, all of us.
Well, it's great that everyone has put pen to paper and signed off, but what have you guys actually signed off on? Because there isn't a site feed confirmed yet, and there isn't a date confirmed yet, and the TV...
We signed for a fight. We signed for 2 fights. That's what we signed for, what's been announced. The two guys have signed up to fight each other. Now we've got to work on the venue, so that's what we're doing. That's what we signed up for. We've got to work on when it'll take place in unusual circumstances. The unusual circumstances, obviously, is a COVID epidemic around the world, and certain countries have got it worse than we've had it.
I'm asking this because a lot of casual fans who aren't really too into the sport are obviously gripped by this fight as well. And we saw the news on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it was, and it really took everyone's imagination. And everyone was saying, "Oh, so this fight's done, etc. The fight is sealed, delivered." But without the money in place and that being signed off, we can't really get too excited yet, can we, Frank? Is that fair?
Ask Eddie Hearn. I haven't made any announcements about it.
Well, yeah, that's a fair comment. He did say that he'd cleared it with Team Fury. Is that true?
I think weren't clean. The contract's very specific. What it says, everything could be a joint announcement. It was. I don't want to keep dwelling on that because everybody thinks we're harping, turning it into something that was dealt with last week. We all know what it is, and we all know what page we're on today. And the most important thing is now is to ensure that we can deliver what the fighters' anticipation, what they're anticipating they'll earn out of the fight. And that's what our job is to do. And that's what we're all working on. The rest of it now don't mean shit because it's out there. It's been said. So every time you was asked me in the past or anyone was asking me, why is this done? It'd been signed. I didn't even tell anybody how long it's been signed for because that's what we agreed to do. So we're all working hard to make it happen. All working hard. And it's not about my ego or anybody else's ego. It's about delivering what we signed up to.
And we've heard about this 28-day period that you've all got to come together and agree everything. Probably now, 25 days. Is that a reasonable time frame to get a date and venue sorted, Frank?
Well, I don't know where that's come from. I'm not discussing the contracts. It's not come from me, and I'm not going to discuss it because that's what I signed an agreement with other people. We all signed up for something. What we signed up for is what it is. And that thing is no announcements about anything to do with the contract until we all agree that where we are with it, where we're all happy with certain things moving forward. And I'm not going to break what I signed. I'm not going to do that. About what periods or anything, I'm not, that's how it is. If somebody else can't be, within a couple of days or whatever it is, or a week of people agreeing things and signing things, go off and start announcing stuff, then that's up to them. If that's what they're, they feel that helps to make this happen and so forth, then I don't see where their head's at. But, what we are all doing collectively on our side is working to deliver to deliver to the fighters and to the fans, who are the most important people, to deliver them what we're delivering the fight they all want to see, because I want to see it. But I ain't going to be conducting negotiations and going through the media until we feel the time's right. And the time at the moment is not right for that. It's just not right for it at the moment.
Are you confident then that this fight takes place in the summer, Frank? Are you confident of that?
But I'm not confident of anything taking place in the summer. I'd love to see it take place. Now, how can you be confident of anything? It depends where it takes place. It depends whether we can get, how many people you can get in venues. Depends if people can travel. We don't even know whether we can travel until the 17th of May. And it depends where it takes place, whether you can even travel to the place, to the site where it does take place. In an ideal world, the best thing to do is get it on in the UK in the autumn, August or something. That would be the ideal situation, but financially that's difficult. But that would be the solution. But anyway, having said that, we're working hard and we're talking to various territories, but I can't guarantee nothing. Nor can anybody else either. Nobody can. Look, a massive event like the Euros, the UK are trying to get it, for the summer. What month we're in? We're in March, a couple of weeks away from April. They still haven't got it. They're talking about the Euros, a massive, massive tournament. So they can't guarantee they're going to get what they're looking to try and get and bring it over here. And nor can we guarantee anything at this moment. All we can do is work towards ensuring that we could deliver. And we deliver it. We deliver when it's safe for people to travel and so forth, safe to go to the venues and whatever. So that's what it is. And it's a really pointless conversation to keep banging on about something that no one's got the answer to. If somebody comes in and says, right, here is X amounts, and we've had these approaches, but somebody comes in and says, like, we'll put up this site fee for you to bring the event here, but we can't do it to such and such a date. It's something we've got to consider.
Mm.
It's all about now us working, I keep banging on about, collectively between ourselves and keeping it to ourselves until we got something definite to announce. Because all this speculation, all it does is create a lot of uncertainty.
So you're similar really to what Tyson was saying the other week. Obviously his comments gained a lot of traction, but he was saying there's no certainty this fight happens in June, July, which there has been a rhetoric of, and you're on the same page, it seems like, as him.
I'm on the same page. Nothing's until it's signed, until a venue's done, until the money's there and the venue's done. Yeah, there is nothing until it's done, and that's what everybody's working towards. But the most important thing is we don't spend our time not what I'm doing. Keep trying to justify an announcement that should not have been made, but was made.
Just go on, Frank. Go on.
I'm saying, and that's it. At the moment, everything is speculation. We want the fight. The two fighters definitely want the fight. That's what they've signed up to fight each other. That's what they've done. That's now out there. I'm not breaching any confidentiality. That's out there. So that's a fact. The rest of it, we're working on. And I think I can't speak any more about it because it's becoming quite boring. I'm sure we're boring everybody to death. There's no other information to give you on it.
Hmm. Well, hopefully you guys can get a venue and date and get this site fee sorted sooner rather than later.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Okay, can we talk about another potential heavyweight fight, please? In Alexander Usyk and Joe Joyce. They reckon they've sent you a counter offer. That's what Alexander Usyk...
I've not had it. Well, they haven't sent me nothing. I've had no offer from them whatsoever. Can they do me a favour and ask them to show the offer?
Okay.
I've not had any. Zero. I'm his promoter. Queensbury's promoter, and we have received nothing. Absolute rubbish. We've made an offer to his management team, and that's where we are.
Okay.
So negotiations are going on, and the negotiation period's going to end soon, and then we'll see where we go from there.
On that offer you sent, I'm not saying there was a counter offer sent, but did you have any contact back from them about your offer?
Yeah, we've had discussions.
Okay. So at least they acknowledged the offer then.
Well, of course they did, because we made it. The offer was made, and there's no doubt about that. But we've not received anything from them at all.
Okay. And still in negotiation period for that one with Usyk and Joyce.
Yeah.
All right. Frank, unfortunately, Chris Jenkins had to pull out of his fight next weekend. Just talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's a great shame that as he burst his eardrum. So we're going to reschedule his fight as soon as he's ready to get back into the ring or resume training. And
is that the same with Woodstock and Kakachi? Is that being rescheduled as well, Frank?
Exactly the same. Well, he got as you know, Leon unfortunately I think he contracted the COVID, so he's trained, but he's out. So we are rescheduling that, and that fight, I hope we get it away sometime in May.
Okay. Frank, Sonny Edwards could be boxing for a world title, eh?
It could be, if we can get it over the line. We're working on that as we speak.
Okay, that's good to hear. And what's happening with the brother, Charlie? Any news on him?
Yeah, I want them both on the same card.
All right. That would be good.
Brothers in arms.
Yeah, that's the one. Just to go back to what we were talking about earlier, sorry to bring this up because it's so boring. We've been talking about it for 6 months. But a couple of American writers said this legal case with Wilder's arbitration is gathering some pace. Do you have any knowledge of that, Frank?
No, the judge has had it in front of him, or the arbitrator has had it in front of him for a while now, and no decision's come back from him yet. Okay,
so we can tick that off and that won't be an issue, that Wilder situation.
Well, look, at the moment, it isn't. That they know what Tyson's case is. The arbitrator knows what Tyson's case is, and he obviously will look at it and see what his decision is. Okay. Take that into account. I mean, I also keep reading that Wilder's was due to fight other people, but who knows whether that's true or not.
What do you think will happen with Deontay Wilder?
What do I think?
Mm.
The opinion, Bob Arum's an attorney, and his attorney's opinion was that the contract's at an end, and that's why we're working on what we're doing for this fight with AJ.
Now, in terms of like since that fight with Tyson Fury, obviously he's made a lot of comments, and people think he's mentally broken, etc. Some people said he might never box again.
Well, do you think? I agree with Tyson. Does he deserve the rematch after the stuff he said? I don't think so. He's not accepted defeat graciously. He's come out with all these off-the-wall, wacky reasons why he got beat. He just got beat by the better man on the night, and the better man on the night got robbed in the first fight. That's what happened.
Well, Frank, next week we're going to catch up and have a preview of obviously your two big cards next weekend. And also I hear there's some announcements about some new shows. So can't talk about that yet, but we'll talk about it next week.
Absolutely, mate.
And just before you go, I do want to get a comment on the tragic passing of Marvin Hagler. Your thoughts? Last word with you, Frank.
It's very, very sad. I was very sad and shocked that he passed. He's younger than me. What's he, 66, I think he was. Marvellous Marvin. And, he was just, when I was younger watching him fight, and I watched a lot of his fights. I watched him fight in Europe, besides when he fought Alan Minter. I also watched him a couple of times. I think he fought in San Remo and Monte Carlo. And obviously I see him fight in the States. I went to his fight against Tommy Hearns, which is like one of the most breathtaking spectacles in boxing I've ever seen, those 3 rounds. I mean, God knows how those two felt, but I was exhausted, watching it. They could have had that fight in a telephone box. I mean, there was no holding. They just went out and it was phenomenal. It goes down in history. I think it's one of the most exciting fights I've ever seen. His fight with Ray Leonard, which was a great fight. He lost to Ray, and I thought Leonard won the fight, but a lot of people were very split on it. A lot of people thought that Marvin had won the fight. Good judges thought he won the fight. I suppose it depends how you score fights, certain fights, on what they did. But whoever won it, it was a good, really good fight, and I'd love to have seen the rematch. The rematch never happened, but he left his stamp on boxing. He was voted by Boxing Illustrated, which at the time was one of the most probably the most respected one of the most respected magazines in the States, and they voted him as fighter of the decade in the 80s, and he certainly was one of the greatest fighters of his generation by far. Just a tremendous fighter, a lovely man. He walked away, done something like a lot of fighters don't do. He walked away when he said that was it, walked away from the sport and never got lured back into it, and set up another life in Italy and became an actor there and appeared in some movies over there, some films. He was a fantastic boxer, a fantastic person. And we lost one of our legends. Boxing lost one of our legends. Very sad time, and my condolences go to him, his family, his children, his wife, all of his family, because they must be really suffering from having lost such a great person, great man, and that's what he was. Fantastic fighter.
I'm sure everyone watching this will echo that as well. Frank, as I said, we'll have a talk next week about your 2 shows and some upcoming shows.
Absolutely. Look.
Frank,
we will do that, and hopefully we won't talk about Fury and Joshua anymore till we announce the date.
Well, hopefully, as I said, you get a venue and date sorted sooner rather than later. Frank, thanks.
It will make a lot of sense to everybody.
Thanks for your time, and I'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend, mate. See you next week.